Hello everybody.
Howdy.
Midweek video.
Yeah.
I've actually been wanting to do this video ever since we got the convention videos, but I was feeling a little under the weather and Mikey had to go on a business trip. He had to go deliver some birds out of state.
Yeah, and the truck broke down in Las Vegas. Wrong Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't the fun Vegas.
No.
It was the in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico Vegas.
Yeah, that's true.
But I want to thank everybody so much for the birthday wishes and cards and phone calls and everything. And I really appreciate it. Love you guys. We have the best friends ever, I swear. Now, before we get into this talk on the convention, I wanted to bring up something. And I wanted to thank Liz for sending me this. It is the new child safeguarding policy of Jehovah's Witnesses in Australia. Now, I'm not going to cover all of this because I would imagine Alexandra James of jwvictims.org is working feverishly on this, and she is going to cover this pretty well. So I just wanted to mention just a few things. They have a policy statement, and the first, number one, is Jehovah's Witnesses abhor child abuse and consider it to be a serious sin and a crime. So they're finally adding that it's a crime.
It's a crime. That's a
about
big change.
time.
Yes, it's about time.
Yeah. We do not shield any perpetrator of child abuse from the secular authorities. But do they contact them?
No.
Okay, now over on the second page, item number 7. The elders will conduct a scriptural investigation of every allegation of child sexual abuse that involves a member of the congregation. Okay, Mikey, what the heck is a scriptural investigation?
Well, I have a question. They say back here that they do not shield any perpetrator of a child abuse from secular authority. So how does having a scriptural investigation, that to me that supersedes what they stated in that first portion?
Yeah, I mean that's really bizarre.
If you don't shield the perpetrator from secular authority, then what place does having a scriptural investigation have to do with any of this? Watchtower.
I mean, isn't a secular investigation by real authorities who are trained to investigate these things? Isn't it better to let them do an investigation? What good is a scriptural investigation?
It's pointless. It's absolutely futile. It's stupidity.
Yes. Okay, now the last sentence on this number 7, it says, a victim or his or her family may also choose to consult a mental health professional. And I think this comes directly from the Australian Royal Commission hearings. Yeah.
I do want to point something out here under this, number 7, scriptural investigation. One of the scriptures that they draw your attention to is Colossians 3:12. Now, I want you to hear how ridiculous this becomes. Because they're going to investigate. They're going to have a scriptural investigation. Colossians 3:12 says, accordingly, as God's chosen ones, holy and loved, clothe yourself with the tender affections of compassion, kindness, humility, mildness, and patience. Could you please explain to me how that scripture coincides with a scriptural investigation? My goodness. A better set of scriptures would have been Colossians 3:5. Deaden, therefore, your body members that are on the earth as respects sexual immorality, uncleanness, uncontrolled sexual passion, hurtful desire, and greediness, which is idolatry. On account of these things, the wrath of God is coming.
Read that to the alleged perpetrator.
Yeah, read that for Christ's sake. Instead of reading, clothe yourselves with mock humility is what it really becomes, Watchtower. My goodness, you people are sick.
Yeah. Now, item number 14, it says, this policy applies to all congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses in Australia. So I have to ask, do all congregation members in Australia get a copy of this? And if it's in Australia, why aren't all Jehovah's Witnesses getting a copy of this worldwide?
What about the rest of the world? My goodness. See, Watchtower's only going to give what they have to give. That's it. No more, no less. That's why these are wretched people.
Yeah.
In this talk they've got just falls right in line because it's just absolute BS.
Now the last page, this is all list of articles from Watchtower's literature about child abuse and how to protect your children and all of this.
Wow.
Now we've got a clip here from the 2017 Regional Convention. You know, the Don't Give Up Convention.
Don't quit, Jehovah's Witnesses, don't quit.
Yeah, don't give up. Saturday morning, right before the baptism talk, there's a symposium with 3 parts. And this talk is from the middle part. It's called Safeguard Your Children from What is Evil. Oy vey. Oy vey.
So I guess let's play the first clip and then let's
let's play the first clip.
Do only what we can do.
But now let's establish the baseline for the rest of our discussion by making this statement. Jehovah God views the abuse of a child physically, emotionally, or sexually as evil, and we share his view. But now let's narrow our discussion further. Jehovah's Witnesses abhor child sexual abuse. Parents, you are the first line of defense. Let's open our Bibles, please, to Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. Proverbs 22, verse 3 tells us the shrewd one sees the danger and conceals himself, but the inexperienced keep right on going and suffer the consequences. Yes, the shrewd person thinks ahead. They see the danger ahead of them and they take appropriate action. Parents, as shrewd ones, you are the first line of defense. You have the need to take all reasonable steps to protect your children from potential dangers, including the abuse that we're mentioning. And one reason why this is critical is that in the majority of cases, the perpetrator was someone that the child knew and trusted. And so as parents, as shrewd ones, while not being overly suspicious, we need to recognize potential dangers.
You know, Mikey, I find this clip, this talk, very contradictory. Because first he says parents are the first line of defense.
Right.
And then later in the clip he said that the majority of these cases are, the perpetrators are ones the child knows and trusts.
But don't be overly suspicious now. Do you Jehovah's Witnesses hear the contradiction in what he's saying? You're the first line of defense, and that most perpetrators are people your children would know, but don't be overly suspicious. Holy crap!
Which means it's not going to be just someone out in the public, some non-JW worldly person.
Well, let's just analyze this. Are the young children of Jehovah's Witnesses, parents of Jehovah's Witnesses, ask yourselves this question. Are you ever going to let your son or boy join the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts? No. So you're not putting them in any danger, are you? How about letting your child join the YMCA or the YWCA? Hell no, you ain't going to let them do that because that's another Christian entity. So there's no danger of them being sexually abused there. How about team sports? You going to let them join a basketball team, a baseball team, soccer, volleyball? No, because you know damn well Watchtower is going to be jumping down your throat for letting your child play all these team sports. So there's no problem with a coach molesting your child in that. How about some after-school activities? Say, well, hell, let's just say a music class. Well, no, because we all learned last year that Sergey couldn't go to a music class, so there's no potential harm from a music teacher raping your child. No, but now here's the thing. During this convention, you're going to see in another video, Watchtower produced it, Caleb is going to be playing a guitar. Hey, Jehovah's Witnesses, who the hell do you think's teaching Caleb to play that guitar? Is it some music teacher in school, or is it some JW elder in your kingdom hall?
That you know and trust.
That you know and trust, but you're not going to be overly suspicious. Do you Jehovah's Witnesses not see the absolute mind screw that this organization is doing on you? And they're still putting your children in harm. Doesn't matter how this talk comes across the platform. Listen to the words and ask yourselves these questions. Who more than likely is going to be sexually abusing your child?
Someone right in the congregation.
They said it'll be someone in the congregation, because you're not going to let your kids join the Boy Scouts, go to the YMCA, join team sports. They're not going to go to any music classes. Hell, you barely let them go to the park in the evening just to shoot hoops with the neighborhood kids. So no, listen to what they're telling you. They're warning you right here what is going to happen to your child if you don't become overly suspicious.
Well, I was going to say that they say, parents, you're the first line of defense. And then they say, but don't be overly suspicious. But yet, do they ever warn the parents?
No, they don't even.
Of a pedophile or two in their congregation? No.
They don't even, they barely are now beginning to tell the parents privately who they should keep an eye on in the congregation.
Yeah.
And here's another part of the whole problem, is that if you were a ministerial servant like me and your elders don't warn you that brother Jackoff over here in the corner is a pedophile, and I, as a ministerial servant on some weekday morning putting together a car group, I would not have a clue that brother Jackoff was raping children, and I'm going to put him in a car with young children. No, Watchtower, this is not going to work. Mark my words.
It's not nearly good enough.
No, it's
protection for children.
No, it is not good enough.
Yeah. But we've got more.
Okay.
And so let's list 5 dangers that we need to keep an eye on as parents. Number 1, someone singles out your child for special attention with gifts or offers free babysitting or private outings with your child. Number 2, someone is overly physical with your child, perhaps through excessive displays of affection, playful wrestling, or inappropriate tickling. Number 3, a relative has unsupervised access to younger siblings, stepchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews, or grandchildren. Number 4, your child has association with others in places that are beyond your vision, such as on a school bus, in the back seat of a vehicle, at sleepovers and social gatherings, in auxiliary rooms and restrooms of meeting places, and at recreational areas such as playgrounds and swimming pools. Number 5, your child has unsupervised use of the internet or social networks. Parents, Proverbs 24:3 tells us, by wisdom a house is built up, and by discernment it is made secure. So by using discernment and good judgment, you can identify potential dangers and safeguard your children from harm, because you as parents are the first line of defense.
Wow, Mikey.
That was a pretty short list, wasn't it? Only 5 things that parents need to be cautious of, but don't be overly suspicious. Yeah, let's just kind of look at these one by one.
Yeah.
Number 1, he's telling the parents to pay special attentions to, that might want to give gifts, be with your children in private. Watch out for those that offer to babysit your children for free. Jehovah's Witnesses, would you hire a worldly person to babysit your children? No. The only people that are going to babysit your children are other Jehovah's Witnesses. Get a grip, Watchtower. Get a grip. Number 2, someone who's overly physical, displaying excessive affection.
Like tickling?
Like tickling, or how about the brother that hands out pockets full of candy to the young children?
And the kids have to give him a hug to get candy.
To get the candy. I've witnessed that a million times.
Yeah, well, it was our PO at the time in Arizona.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Jehovah's Witnesses. You're busy gabbing in the back with another Jehovah Witness about, I don't know, the mundane things of life. When you're in that kingdom hall, you have this perception that you're in a safe area. If you listen to everything he's saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. This is not a safe environment, especially when we get down to number
4.
Number 4. Yes. Yeah. But let's take a look at number 3. The relative. Yeah.
But yet don't be overly suspicious.
But don't be overly... Exactly. Do you hear how contradictory this all becomes? Because earlier they throw in... But don't be overly suspicious. Basically what he's saying is, well, don't be overly cautious. Yeah. God.
Now 4 is the one that perked my interest and got me riled. Because what they're really saying in number 4 is they're admitting they have a child abuse problem in the organization. Because he even mentions auxiliary rooms and restrooms of meeting places. Jehovah's Witnesses, that's your kingdom hall.
Where else do you people meet? Honestly, where else do you... Well, it ain't going to be at the boys club. It ain't going to be at the YMCA. It ain't going to be in the music room with the music teacher. No, it's going to be at the Kingdom Hall.
See, and they're interweaving these warnings right in the congregation, in with what you would be out doing in the world, you know, with non-JWs.
Yeah, he talks about association and places beyond your vision. Well, then that means, parents of Jehovah's Witnesses, better damn well have that child with you 24/7.
Well, he even mentions, like,
buses?
school buses.
Yeah.
Or city buses? I don't know.
Or city buses, school, but he said buses without qualifying, so I guess we're going to have to qualify that. So Jehovah's Witnesses, instead of letting your child ride the bus to school in the morning, you need to start taking them to school and picking them up, because this would be out of your vision. And if they're on a public school bus, then as a parent, I don't think you're allowed to ride with your children.
No.
No. So, I mean, that right there is a disqualifying portion of leaving not letting your children be out of your vision. And then in the back seat of a car.
Field service?
Field service? So does that mean, if you leave the child in the car with Brother Jackoff Elder, while you and another sister go in to have a return visit and you get invited in, you've just left your child out of your vision with Brother Jackoff.
Yeah. Now, he mentions sleepovers.
Sleepovers, yeah.
And social things. How many social events and sleepovers do Jehovah's Witnesses have with non-JWs?
Zero.
None.
Zero.
They only do these with other Jehovah's Witnesses.
Wow. Jehovah's Witnesses, there's only one absolute way to keep your children safe. Because everything that he describes right here in all of these 5 points pertains to Jehovah's Witnesses specifically.
Right in your organization, right in your congregations.
So get the hell out. And if any elder comes by and says, "Hey, Brother so-and-so, I haven't seen you at the meeting. Oh, by the way, your field service hours has gone from 15 hours a month to 0. Do you have a reason for that?" Say, "Yeah, I listened to this dumbass talk from Watchtower, and I got my kids the hell out of this organization so that I can protect him. And you know what, Brother Jackoff Elder? I am being overly sensitive. I am being overly critical, because when it comes to my child's suspicious, yeah. When it comes to my child's mental health for the rest of his life, I'm getting away from you people. That's the only way, 100% way that you can protect your children, is get the hell out of this organization. That's the only way, because everything that he describes, every situation that he points you to where your child can be sexually abused, is in a Jehovah's Witness setting. Wake up!
Well, that brings us to number 5. He mentions the internet and social networks. Now, we know for a fact that most Jehovah's Witnesses are very careful of who they are friends with on Facebook, social media, Instagram, all of those, who they're texting. So if anyone is going to be sexting, a young Jehovah's Witness, it's going to be someone in the organization.
Yeah.
Like an elder.
Like an elder, perhaps. Yeah, And, maybe this elder's preference might be 14-year-old girls. Who knows? Maybe it might be 14-year-old boys. Who knows? But the thing is that who your child is going to be communicating on Facebook or whatever is going to probably more likely be another Jehovah's Witness.
Because if you say or do anything that is not JW speech, then you get unfriended.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We already know it's going to be, another Jehovah's
Another
Witness.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we've got another clip.
Parents, ask yourselves, have I trained my children regarding what are proper displays of affection, the importance of wearing modest clothing, and the need for others to respect their privacy? Would my children know what to do if someone tried to show them pornography? If an adult asked them to do something Jehovah says is wrong? Or if someone threatened them if they refused to keep a secret? The objective is not to frighten our children. It's to be shrewd parents, teaching them what they need to know so that they can recognize the dangers. And we're also helping them to train their conscience, to have that inner sense of right and wrong so they can examine decisions and be led to the right, scripturally based decision.
This is disturbing because he said, teach your child to dress modestly, in modest clothing. So isn't that kind of like making the victim, re-victimizing, making it the victim's fault?
The victim's fault.
This all goes back to a woman is raped because she's dressed provocatively.
Right.
Well, let's face it, anyone who looks at a child and thinks they're seducing them or looking provocative, they're sick in the head.
Yeah, they're already sick in the head. Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is he talks about keeping secrets and stuff like this. So an elder molesting a child. Now, we've heard these stories several times, over and over again in the past 4 years. While an elder is molesting a child, they are telling that child that they will be destroyed at Armageddon if they tell anyone. So can you imagine what that does to a child? And
this is the authority that Watchtower gives the elders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
Or telling them, the case we know of in Cottonwood. The young victim was told that their entire family will be disfellowshipped if they say anything to anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Watchtower, how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you should be overly suspicious of the people that are hanging around your children, because the high probability is that it's going to be another Jehovah's Witness. Every situation that these people are describing in this public talk comes from, theocratic settings. So Jehovah's Witnesses, if you want to ultimately protect your children, get them out of the Kingdom Hall. Don't ever go back, and when the elders start harping on you, you can use this term. Tell them that Mikey gave you permission to use this term, that you are theocratically preserving your child's mental health. That's why you're never going to see me back in the Kingdom Hall again.
Exactly. So, you know, they have been doing so much the past year, and this talk right here, in my opinion, is they are admitting there is a serious problem within the organization, and it's not just a few, you know, because we've been hearing for years now, oh, well, there's just a few bad people.
No.
If it was just a couple of bad people, I don't think they would be having a part like this on the convention, and they would not have this child safeguarding policy in the country of Australia.
Right. It's definitely a cancerous, systemic problem. And if you've been following our channel for any length of time, you'll see that I just did another video reading from a book of another person that went to Bethel as a young virgin and got so involved with homosexual activities that the man actually thought he was gay. No, Jehovah's Witnesses, wake up and realize, listen to what they're saying in these talks.
Which means, take it up to a higher level too, is it's not just in your local congregations. They're probably also talking about Bethel.
Well,
so if you're a young man working at Bethel, I mean, you wouldn't want to go in a dark corner, you know, to get a roll of paper or something.
Or maybe down in the laundry room, get stuck behind one of those washing machines or something.
Don't want to bend over in a washing machine.
No, I mean, come on, Jehovah's Witnesses, listen to what you're being told.
Read between the lines.
Absolutely.
This is a very bold admission, I believe, of the problem they've got in the organization.
But they're all wrapping it up as, oh, this is a loving expression from Jehovah, isn't it? If this organization was such a loving organization, you would never, ever expect to hear a talk like this. You should never expect to hear it.
Well, let's just read the title again to this talk. Okay, it's in this symposium, Build a House That Will Endure. Safeguard your children from what is evil. So they're basically admitting there is evil in your organization, and you have to watch your children. You are the first line of defense. So it isn't just a few incidences. It's evil. They're even admitting it's evil.
So why isn't Jehovah wiping you people off the face of the earth like he did in times past when the Israelites did something evil? In one case, the whole camp was made to pay for it. If God's not doing anything to stop this any more than just getting some jackass elder up here to give a talk telling you, you know, you're the first line of defense, but don't be overly suspicious, you should really start questioning who is behind this organization.
It's not God's organization.
It's not God.
It's not God's organization. So, glad we finally got around to doing this video.
Watchtower, just keep them coming. Please, just keep them coming, and we're going to show how idiotic you people truly are.
Yeah.
Just keep them coming, year after year after year. You know, poor Sergey, you know, going back to last year, couldn't go to the conservatory and learn how to play the violin, but then the following year they got Caleb playing a guitar, and again, where's he getting his lessons? It's not from the local music store. It's probably from some elder who knows how to play the guitar. And you just put your children right in harm's way.
Electric guitar at that.
Yeah. It's absolutely disgusting what these people do.
Yeah. Just hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. So thank you everyone for watching. And thank you so much for all the wonderful comments and emails, and like I said, birthday cards and wishes. And welcome to all our new subscribers.
And our old ones.
Yeah, my goodness.
Thank you for everything you do.
We've hit over 3.5 million views, so thank you, because that's all of you watching our videos.
Yep, and sharing them.
Yeah, and sharing them. And it's just so overwhelming, you know, so thank you. Thank you for all that. So, and you know we love you. You all have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye.